What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel for another weekly update. Hope everybody's having a lovely weekend so far. And with that being said, let's get into the TA, guys. We got an exciting week ahead, all right? But I will say right now, it's probably going to be uneventful. By that, I mean we don't have any news catalysts going on, all right? We likely see technicals play out for technicals, all right? All right, technicals aren't always going to, they're not always going to be 100%, all right? Well, actually, not that they aren't always going to be 100%. They're never going to be 100%. That is what I should have said. So just, make sure you know that as you're following along with the channel, all right? Because if you don't know that, I'm sorry, but you're just never going to be pleased with what you see here on the channel. All right. But if you are someone who is interested in pretty much bringing an order to the chaos, okay, we look at pretty much everything. We come together with a big picture point of view here on the channel. If you are someone who that appeals to, then here you go. All right. This is the perfect value for you. All right. So before we get into things, just know that if you are finding value in this content or you're enjoying this content or you're getting entertained, please support the channel with a like, boost the channel, pump the algorithm, so we can get this out to more people. All right, so we're going to start off here with a weekly time frame on Mr. VIX. All right, we will close that out right there. So the first thing I want to point out here is we have a bearish engulfing candlestick right here, and then you come over here, you have this bearish engulfing candlestick, you have this bearish engulfing candlestick, and then you have this bearish engulfing candlestick. Every single one of those, the last three bearish engulfing candlesticks here on the weekly time frame on Mr. VIX, resulted in the next week being a lower low. All right. Are we going to get that this week? Probably. All right. And I got to say, we're probably going to end up seeing another bullish divergence form on Mr. VIX. We're going to see this low probably get taken out. Let's actually put that on our chart right now. The low is 1706. So we're just, come back over to Mr. VIX. Okay. We're going to go like that. We're going to go 1706 and we'll make you a blue line. If you are new to the channel, we have a color code. All right, here on our charts. Okay, so yellow lines, those are my targets. Blue lines, those are just levels. Okay, those are levels and support and resistance and trend lines and just, all of that jazz. And then the green lines, those are my gap fills. All right, so, well, not gap fills, those are the gaps that I am waiting to be filled. They don't have to be filled, but, indices, gap downs at least have a I think it's an 85% chance of getting filled eventually. But gap ups do not have to be filled. But we are in a bear market, so we do know we are likely going to be seeing, well, if we're in a bear market, then we're going to be seeing new lows, all right? Then since that is the case, gap ups, they will be filled, all right? At least the ones from the past, all right? Which is why we got them here on our chart, okay? Come over here. We have 338.25 over there. You have 319.80 right there. That is personally where I think we're going to end up going down on this next leg lower. All right, I think it's going to be somewhere in the zone. And what is this zone made up of, guys? It's literally just support and resistance, okay? Gap fills have an 80% chance of causing reversal. All right, at least a temporary reversal on QQQ and SPY. Because of this is where I expect buyers are going to step in and sellers are going to run for the door. All right. On top of that, you have this this next support level right over down here. All right. So I'm just saying you are likely going to see buying pressure come in somewhere in the zone. All right. So that is the long-term goal. All right. And since this is the weekly update, I guess we should remind everyone where the long-term projection is here on the channel. All right. And that is we're going lower, guys. We're going lower. We are in a bear market. Things are bad. They're rough. Okay. Yes, we are going to have a rip. Eventually, we're going to have a rather large rip, right? That's exactly what started right here. All right. You see how large this rip was right there? Well, guess what? We're going to have continuation on that move eventually. All right. But before that happens, we're likely to see these weekly oscillators cycle back down. All right. What do I remind you guys all the time, guys? If you're going to use what I use here on the channel, all right, just know all freaking time frames work together. Okay, the monthly time frame works with the weekly time frame. The weekly works with the daily, and then the daily works with the lower time frames. All right, they need to match up together, and when they match up together, that's when you see the strong moves. All right, so to see this next strong move to the upside here, because we are probably going to be seeing one coming out of here. This is like you're in territory here where you get these massive rips. These are your buying opportunities when you're down here for your we'll just call it the long-term investments, okay, or investments in general. This is where you want to be making your buys, okay? Trading wise, no, guys, we're in a bear market, okay? This is a trader's market. Just because we're down here does not mean we are going to be going up, okay? We're probably going to be going significantly lower. All right, probably going to be tapping this trend line I got here on SPY. All right, on the monthly time from there. All right, you did end up breaking it briefly over here, but it is something that could be hit. And guess what? It would align with this zone. All right, we would literally, well, I mean, well, yeah, no, it would align with the zone if it were to take place somewhere over here. I don't know if this thing drags out into the May, June, July, August. I have no idea how long this next leg down will, drag. But you guys saw what happened here, right? We probably have some, at least a few weeks of upside, or not upside, downside ahead of us once it starts. All right, but I'm here to tell you guys in this video that that's likely not going to be happening just yet. All right, let's actually, on that note, let's come over here to the economic calendar and take a gander at that. All right, so like I said, we don't have anything really super important here. I think I said that. We do have two occasions that Powell is going to be up on the podium there, and I'm not going to say this is going to be something that's going to be massively moving the market, but we typically do see a Powell pump or a Powell dump. All right, we don't really see him, we don't see the indices trade flat when he is speaking, all right, or when he is scheduled. So I expect something to come out of it. I don't know. I would expect it's probably going to get a Powell pump is what I would expect, all right? I am going to be talking about how I'm going to be looking for a pullback, all right? We have hit the targets that I have called out, or at least target number one, all right? I do have two of my top targets there on SPY and QQ that have not been hit yet, and I think we're going to get a pullback before hitting those, or we're going to hit them and get a decent-sized pullback, all right? We're going to be talking about that in this video, all right? So stay tuned. All right. But yeah, guys, you don't really have anything. I mean, there's stuff to tell people what's going on, but like this market is moving off of inflation data. All right. And my opinion, that's really not coming up until CPI. All right. We're just going to have to see. All right. You have like a few things that could move the market this week. Okay. You have the JOLTS report. All right. So that could be, I would actually say this is probably going to be your biggest market mover this week. That and, maybe Waller speaking. If I am remembering correctly, this guy, I've been seeing hawkish things. I've been seeing hawkish quotes that he has been seeing on, saying on Twitter. But I'm not sure. All right, I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that. All right, do your own DD. This is just everything I share here on this channel, guys. All my opinion. All right, all my opinion. All right, none of it is fact. None of it is guaranteed. It is all. I want to say it's all speculation. Obviously, I don't look at it as all speculation, all right? But in the grand scheme of things, all right, anything anybody says on YouTube is it's speculation, all right? So just know that, all right? I'm not a god, all right? I don't have a crystal ball, and that means that I can make errors, all right? I can mess up, all right? But I will do my best, obviously, not to do so, all right? All right, so moving on, all right, let's start off here with the weekly time frame. We already went over Mr. VIX's, the bearish engulfing candlestick there, but you do have your oscillators also agreeing with the bearish engulfing candlestick. They're both heading down. CCI and stochastic is crossed down as well. All right, RSI, there's following them, all right. But it has the exact opposite picture of what we got going over here on SPY and QQ. They both have SPX and SPY do have, well, not SPY actually. SPX has a bullish Rami candlestick formation off of increasing buy volume here with its stochastic turning up, and its CCI is also hinged upward. RSI is falling. All right, this is decently strong in my personal opinion. Like this is valid, and actually something I want to point out right now in the weekly time frame is DIA. All right, DIA has its stochastic crossing up, and I told you guys if we were going to get what I was expecting on Friday, which we got exactly what I was expecting on Friday, then we are going to be seeing, we will likely be seeing DIA's stochastic end up crossing up going into the end of the week, all right, or going into next week. And we did end up getting that. It is crossing up from oversold territory. We can end up just dancing down here. I don't think that is going to be the case. I think we're probably going to be seeing a significant rise here. Maybe we end up getting halfway up here. I'm not sure. All right. I don't know if you end up coming back up here. I think it's probable. All right. I think it is probable that we end up coming back up into this range here and just trading flat. Again, we're going to go over my expectations here in this video. All right. We've been going over them the past few videos, but well, obviously we do that in every single video, but you know, things change. All right. So if you want to stay up to date with Henry, guess what? You got to stay up to date with the videos. There you go. All right. Or I guess stay up to date with Henry's mind. There you go. But yeah, guys, the weekly time frames all have increasing buy. The weekly charts all have increasing buy volume, except over here on DIA. IWM, we don't really watch IWM, but it also has increasing buy volume. They all closed out the week with hammer candlesticks, all right, or hangman candlesticks, which do have bullish continuation as the test of performance, more often than not. All right, so either way, we got bullish weekly candlesticks. We have bullish, we got increasing buy volume. We have bullish oscillators for next week. All right, next week, guys, I think it's decently safe to say we are going to see more upside next week. All right, I warned you guys back over here that we were in this consolidation, this range here. All right, the same thing we had going on over here. All right, and we are likely just to stay in this range until we have, you know, some impulsive moves going on. All right. And then I called out, we did have that trend line over here on the 4 and 1 hour time frame. All right. And we did end up getting a break, and we actually did end up hitting the target for that. All right. Shout out to the Patreon guys. If you guys do want to, if you guys literally want just consistently high probability trade ideas, feel free to join there. It has definitely already paid for itself. And for a fact, any of the members, they can vouch for that. All right. And just know, guys, all right, I will do my best to not have losers, but guaranteed they will come along, all right? But just know that if you follow along with what we are discussing over there in the Patreon, all right, on each and every post, if you're following my specific trade plan, if you follow it, you pretty much can't mess up. All right. And I'm not saying that as a guarantee or anything, because obviously not financial advice, but like the trade plans are existent for a reason, just so I can't have backlash for doing what I'm doing. All right. It is pretty much, yeah, it's a systematic, it's forcing other people, not forcing other people, but it's like, okay, I'm giving you guys my systematic approach. All right. If you guys messed up, it is like I know it wasn't me. I know it was on your emotional error. That's what it had to have been. All right. So if you guys are interested in those systematic approaches to these trades and consistent trades, I also do have I have a list of blue chip large cap stocks that do have trades that will be triggered throughout the year. I don't know when they will be triggered, but when they trigger, they will come. So guaranteed the Patreon will pay for itself. All right. So like, even if my eye doesn't catch things, I do have alerts already set up on specific tickers just to, you know, just to make, like, guarantee that value is there, guarantee that it pays for itself. But alone, my eye has made it pay for itself this week alone. All right. We did call it, I think we had 4 or 5 trades. All right. And I do believe 3 of them ended up, I know one ended up by the end of the day. Let's look at it this way. All right. Our QQQ trade ended up getting, and this was a 3 to 4 week option we had, and that ended up going 200%. All right. We did end up entering that right at the bottom. And then we did also have, GNS. We'll just say that right now because that thing is actually going crazy. But yeah, there was that. And then we also did have another runner there. And then obviously there are some complacent ones right now. But again, I mean, I'm letting you guys know about these trade plans before the setup actually comes into our hands. All right. So, or obviously if I see things on the spot, like some things I saw this week, you guys are going to be the first to know right there on the spot. So if you are interested in that and you think you would find that valuable, Patreon link is down below. All right, feel free. There's it's about 15 of us right now. All right. All right, so let's get back into things. Let's go back over the daily time frames because we did go over the weekly time frame. All right, just know the weekly time frame is bullish. It's suggesting we're going to see upside next week. All right, that's all I can really say. Is like we're looking solid, guys. It really is looking solid for some upside. All right, but I'm going to tell you guys right now ahead of time. 4 and the 1 hour time frame are suggesting we're going to be seeing some downside as we are coming into SPY's resistance. Going right into that target. All right. And again, trade plans, guys, trade plans. It's not just me calling out options. Right. No, it's specific to everything. All right. And also, obviously, if you do if you need catering to you, all right, that's what I'm there for. You're paying me, all right? If you got any questions, if you need any help, I got you. That is that. All right, guys. All right, so getting back into it, though, you did, just like the weekly increasing buy volume across SPY and QQQ, you did have that increasing buy volume on Friday, all right, with this big gap up right here. Now, this gap up did leave a gap behind on SPY that is 398.69. On QQQ, that is 294.43. And by the way, guys, look at that, guys. We are getting quite an impulsive move. I told you guys we would probably avoid a close underneath the 200 MAs of SPY and QQ because that would likely send us down $10 to $20 of both of them very quickly, all right? Just because with the data that has came out recently, I don't doubt that there are sell algos set to trigger with the daily close on there. That's just, you know, like that is where you would expect the bulls to fight. That's where you expected the bears to step in over here. They stepped in. That's where, like, look, bears, bears, bears. Bulls started to hold the line. Bulls are starting to hold the line, all right? On this next test of the 200 MA, though, I'm just going to say right now, the way I look at these things is, you know, all right, people look at these as like, oh, they get stronger every time they're tested. Well, guess what? I think they get, you know, they get weaker, all right? The more you, I think it was in Jay Bravo's course. That is what he pretty much made me look at things like this. The more you jump on a window, all right, so you're jumping on glass, all right, it's only a matter of time until that thing shatters, all right? There you go, okay? I think it's probably going to shatter on the next one. I told you guys this was literally, it's going according to plan. I told you guys the Bears probably don't have enough strength to get that right now, considering you did have, you've had, you know, you're seeing buying come back in here, down into this range here, all right? And it was suggesting, you know, there you go, right? You're probably going to have an upward resolution. We did also have bullish divergences on the 4-hour time frame across SPX, QQ, and SPY, which also suggested this. Also, VIX was, you know, it was over here, all right? This is, you know, we were looking for a pullback. It was very, I'm not going to say very easy because nothing in the market is very easy. I'm just going to say it was decently, yeah, it was kind of easy to call. All right, I'm just going to say that, I guess. But yeah, you do have your stochastic and CCI coming off of these on CCI. You're coming up through your buy line. All right, you hit that on Thursday, I think. Yeah. So you did end up crossing that on Thursday. So you got your buy signal on the daily time frame here on SPY from the CCI. Stochastic is heading straight up and is widening. All right, and you do have your, let's say, yeah, you have your 50-50 buy signal here on QQQ and SPY. And that occurs when you are over your 50 MA and get back over your 50 mark on these RSI right here. All right, so that is something that is going on right now. All right, that is also something that could trigger some algo buying. All right, I don't know. All right, just a thought. That is probably an old school technical indicator right there. All right, which probably means the older people would be using it. All right, and those are the people who are probably in control of the algos. All right. There we go. Not saying young people can't be in control of the algos, but the way I see this game, all right, the longer you're in the game, the more money you accumulate, and there you go. All right, it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy that the older you get in this game, as long as you stick with it, the more money you get. All right, so there you go. Which, that's why, guys, we are going to stick with it. Guys, I'll be here years and years and years to come. I can promise you guys that one. I am not going anywhere. All right, because I am here for longevity. I am here to prevail. Okay, I'm here to build up my skill set. It's only a matter of time. Well, I mean, I'm not going to say it's only a matter of time. My time is here. All right, my time started sometime throughout this bear market. I started hitting my exponential growth curve. All right, if you guys want to hit your growth curve, guys, keep freaking getting back up. That's all you have to do. All right, and your highs will keep getting higher. There you go. Okay, just, you know, keep making those lows higher as well, because you're not doing that, then you're just, you know, having wild swings for no reason. All right. All right. So moving on to let's look at DIA real quick. All right. I'm gonna remind you guys, we had a triple bullish divergence going on DIA's daily CCI here. All right. I think that's good for more than what we got going right here. I think we're probably going, maybe we end up getting some rejection here at the 50 MA from what I'm looking at right here. All right. Like I listen, guys, we have this increasing buy volume here on SPY and QQ. This to me suggests that we are probably going to see the buyers that were buying here give you some follow through into the next day. Now, do we get an intraday reversal? That's what's on my mind now. All right, do we get that? All right, because either way, I'm looking for a pullback. You could see that here on the 4-hour time frame. I guess we could jump over to that now. All right, so I got this line here on the CCI. Just look, the last few times you tapped that line. All right, so you got up here right here, but we're gonna excuse that one. You didn't really touch it over here. All right, so right here, you formed your bullish divergence or bearish divergence. So you peaked right here on this candlestick. You peaked right here at just about 413. Then you went up to make your high at 418. So you had a $5 move, just over a $5 move there before then you started the downturn. All right. I think it's probably you're either gonna get your bearish divergence start to form by going up and tapping that's 408.14. That is what I think is likely. All right, and then you would get your pullback, and it would be a rather decent pullback. I think you would probably come back and maybe come back here to 398.69 and fill that gap. I think these gaps are going to be very important here at 408 and here at 398.69 on SPY. I think these are going to be very important this week. I think it's very likely that we end up seeing pretty much this, all right? In my personal opinion, maybe we do end up getting this right here, and this brings us into CPI here. All right, and there we go. And that's what I was saying. We could literally just stay in a range, okay? It doesn't have to be any crazy volatile movement. Well, it's going to be volatile. It's not going to be any crazy impulsive movement in one direction or another until we get that catalyst suggesting otherwise. Now, keep in mind, guys, Powell, like we have data like suggesting Powell is about to bring down the hammer, all right, on the 22nd. If you see a hot CPI report, all right, just know that the market now knows Powell's definitely going to bring down the hammer. That's how I'm looking at this, all right? So that would be it would be a confirmation that, oh, inflation is taking back up not only in January, but now in February. Crap, man, this is terrible, all right? So, like, just realize the market will probably freak out off of that. You probably would get a decent gap down, or at least you would get selling, all right? And then I don't know though, because then would like you're falling into Powell, because here, let's look at it this way. Let's come over here to the daily time frame. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 6 trading sessions. So including both of these days, you have 7 trading sessions. All right. So how like much of a swing here are we really going to see in 7 trading sessions? All right. So like maybe we end up having that. And then it comes over here. Maybe we end up doing something like this. This is what I was saying. Like, hey, all right, this would be the very frustrating thing, because, dude, you made the lower low, and then now you're making a higher high. Like, they really are trying to confuse the crap out of everyone here, and that's just it's going to be the most confusing scenario possible, right? But this is, honestly, it's on the table, all right, with what I just showed you guys with the weekly time frame, the daily time frame, because we got room to run, all right? The daily is matched on the weekly time frame right now, all right? And, yeah, I think you're probably going to get some fall through to that, all right? But yeah, you come over here to the other time you hit it, all right? And this was actually your December peak, all right? And then you had on the NASDAQ, you had like a 20% sell off or something crazy, all right? And SPY, what did we sell off here, all right? Peak to trough here, 10%, all right? QQQ was a little more dramatic here. Oh, it was not 20%, it was 14%. I forgot. This was the 20% rally. Not a 20% sell off, it was 20% rally, all right? Look at that. That's crazy rally, guys. These are crazy times. And these are the best times. Like, it sucks that mistakes like this. These are the market's mistakes like the most amount of mistakes will be made. But I also remember being in the bull market and still not being able to consistently make profit. So, no, guys, I am so freaking grateful for the fact that we have been blessed with this bear market. We have been given the chance to, you were forced to step up or step out. Okay, that's pretty much how I see it. Okay, you were forced to continuously just keep losing all the money you're putting in the market, this bear market, or you could, like learn. You could learn or get out. Those are your 1-2 options there. All right, so like I'm grateful for this bear market, guys. I really hope you guys are as well. I hope this thing goes on for years and years. It probably will, honestly. It probably will. We probably have a 1970s situation going on where inflation's just going to literally keep ping-ponging back and forth. I don't know, all right? But along with the 4-hour CCI here, you do have the 1-hour CCI on QQQ having a bearish divergence. Then you also have the same exact thing over here on SPY, all right? So, like, I'm just saying, guys, these are, these are times when you're going to hit these peaks, all right? And it was the same thing over here. You went up over here and formed that bullish divergence. You went up from just about right here on QQ. So SPY 395 to a peak of 403. So that's an $8 move compared to the $5 move we saw. Or was it over here? I think. Yeah, over here. Yeah, guys. I mean, hey, we could form that bullish divergence. We can run up to these gap fills and form that bullish divergence. Maybe we end up running up into this golden pocket right here. Which, if you guys are new to the channel and want to know what this golden box is here on my chart. All right, this is literally just the golden pocket. It is the 0.78 Fibonacci combined with the 0.618 Fibonacci. There you go. All right, this is where, you know, the retracement. This is the golden, it's called the golden pocket for a reason. All right, retracements typically come to these zones. All right, so this is the retracement zone that I will be watching. And if you break through here, I got to say, guys, if you break through the top of this golden pocket, if you break through the 0.718, or the 0.78, not 0.718, you are probably going to break this high. And I would say the next spot I would be watching is 421.22. So if you break through 413 here on SPY, at a daily close above it, we'll say, I would be watching for that. So just know, daily close above 413 on SPY, 421.22 is where I think price would be moving from there. And that's just because, hey, this is the retracement zone. So if you break it, the price might not be retracing. All right, maybe this was the retracement of this. All right, and we can actually put that on. I think it was. Just look at this. Yeah, 0.618. So this is what I was getting at. All right, we literally came down and tapped the 0.618. Well, just slightly missed it here. So ever so slightly missed it. Let's see what we got going over here on QQQ actually, because this could be also something pretty cool. All right, let's that. Okay, we'll call it that. Look at that, guys. So QQQ did not get a deep retracement, whereas SPY came all the way back down here. All right, but look at QQ. Look at that bad boy go. Reverse right off of that gap fill. All right, now that actually filled intraday, or not intraday. That filled, well, it didn't fill. It went down and hit their pre-market. We actually missed it by, I believe it was 1 penny. Yeah, 1 penny. 288.37 was the low, and that's what I'm telling you guys about. Gaps are going to, they have 80% probability of causing at least a temporary reversal. And the reason is that's where shorts are going to be running for the door to cover and buyers are going to be stepping in, such as like we did this time around. All right. All right. So, all right. Let's go over here to, oh, I didn't mean to do that. No, bring back my SPY, guys. So we got to actually talk about the futures as well. And guys, again, just another quick little plug. If you guys want to know everything that I'm looking at on the spot all the time, when I see it, all right, such as what I was seeing on the futures here that we're about to go over, just know Patreon, all right? It's literally in there. You're going to see 100% everything, okay? And even if you're not sitting there trading the trades, I promise there are trading insights in there that you are going to, like, I'm not specifically talking about, I mean, there are those as well, all right? Like little tips and tricks and stuff, but just in general, you're going to know exactly where the indices are going, all right, or at least likely going on the spot, all right? Now, I will also say, I'm not changing anything I'm offering here on the channel or anything, so if you guys are already getting that here from the channel, hey, there you go, all right, there you go. But if you obviously want to go the extra mile there, there you go. That's the extra value, all right? But yeah, this is something I called out literally the night I saw it. We were, I think it was right here, and I said bounce imminent, I think was the post title. And it was, the bounce was imminent. All right. We were here just tapping here on, and this is the actual trend line on not log scale. I don't use log scale. Maybe I should, I don't know. All right. I have apps. If you guys, I don't even know because nobody knows the answer to that. I don't, well, maybe someone do. I just need to find someone that I trust. All right. Someone that's been around this game for years and years and years and say, hey, log scale or reg scale. All right. Or yeah, whatever. All right. But yeah, guys, you literally came down and tapped this trend line. Like that is literally something that happened the following day. You had already tapped it here, which is also why I was saying like, hey, you're probably, or not probably, like I was saying a decent sized bounce, or I think I said rather large bounce incoming. I don't remember what it was, but regardless, this was destined to happen, all right? This was destined to be where the bulls were to step in. Now, something I also pointed out was we got this zone here, all right? This zone and this zone have been pretty important since they came about from right around over here, All right, let's just mark up some reactions you have off of the zone. I'm going to point out that, hey, this zone pretty much sends price one way or the other. All right, you get these impulsive moves through it. All right, so let's start marking them out. All right, you had to hold the line over here. All right, you held this zone. All right, guess what? You held it over here. You came back and you got shoved back 2 different times, and then you impulsively broke through it, came back, retested it, and went on off to the races. All right, again over here, you held the zone, came back, impulsively sold off through it. All right, so again, you have that, you have that. All right, we have this, you impulsively broke through, you came back and flipped it, and you bounced 3 times here. All right, impulsively sold through this level, and there you go. You found resistance right here at this level. All right, again, impulsively bought up through this level, came back, retested this level, off to the races. All right, guess what? We're now here again. All right, so this zone causes a reaction one way or the other is what I'm getting at here. All right, and it does very clearly look like this time around it's causing reaction to the upside. All right, we had probably close to 10 reactions throughout this bear market on this zone specifically. All right, so I'm just saying this combined with the 200 MA touch there, combined with the the buying pressure coming in on the 200 MA touch there, combined with the buying pressure coming in on the trend line touch here, the very solid shot here on ES that you were going to bounce. So combined with everything else I was seeing, yeah, an extremely high probability that you have a significant bounce off of this level. All right, or off of these levels across the indices. All right, coming over here to NQ. You were doing the same thing over here with the 200 MA. You were holding it, guys. All right. So this is something that, like, hey, we had an agreement across everything, suggesting buying pressure was going to be not suggesting it was going to be stepping in, suggesting it was stepping in, and then it really stepped in and broke out of your consolidation here. All right. And look at that, guys. You broke past your previous resistance here. So, I mean, right now, as of right now, at least on the NASDAQ futures, you're sitting here trading in this range. All right. So this is now the new range to be watching here. Let's see if it's the same over on ES. You did again break out of your resistance right here. This was your previous. This is also, again, this you can see these are levels that have been respected. Rejection. All right. Oh, you're holding the line. Oh, you flipped it. Came back. Impulsive selling through it. Rejection. You're coming back through it. All right. So I think you're probably going to, maybe you go a little higher before cooling off, which that is personally what I think is, I don't want to say that because I want to, I want to be able to get back in calls. But I will say right now, and by the way, guys, with the Patreon, you guys can do whatever the freak you want, okay? Like, literally whatever you want. Just know that my specific trade plans will always be there with the entries, exits, targets, risk management, and yeah, all right? That will always be there. But at the end of the day, I will be calling out all these trade ideas, and you guys can pick and choose whichever one you guys deem to be the highest probability, okay? If it makes sense to you guys as well, that's when you pull the trigger, okay? You don't just blindly fall. Or, I mean, you could do that, but just know it's not financial advice. And like, hey, I have no promise. But I will say the way I set things up, I pretty much set it up so someone, as long as they're following my trade plans, they shouldn't be failing. All right. Like, that is the point. They, like, literally, it should work. All right. But again, you know, everything is it's on your own. All right. That is on your own. You get to pull the trigger. That is what I'm leaving the decision making to you. You get to pull the trigger. All right. On whichever one you choose. All right. But yeah, guys, I mean, I still think we're going to end up going higher on Monday, just going off the daily time frame here. Going off, like, you have that increasing buy volume, suggesting buyers are going to have that follow through. I wouldn't be surprised to honestly see you come up here and tap this gap before coming down. And then maybe you tap this gap. All right. We literally went over this not too long ago. Maybe you tap this gap, come down here, come up here. All right. And again, maybe you do run up here, or maybe they just literally trade you flat here, and then you end up coming down. You end up holding this high. All right. But if you do end up breaking past here, this golden pocket here, then I would have to suggest, like, price is probably going to break that high. All right. That's the frustrating part. That would suck. All right. But if you get the hot CPI report, it means you're also going to get a sell off on this date right here. All right. So, but the market is forward looking, so they'll try and price this in. So are we going to get something like this? All right. Is this on the table? I don't know. All right. Honestly, I would say if we get a hot CPI report, this is probably the It's probably the likely path. All right. This is probably the path the price ends up taking if we, at least a similar path, if we do end up seeing a hot CPI report. And that's just because the market is forward looking. They will try and price in the fact that the Fed is probably going to go either 50 or 75 here. They're probably already going to go 50 off of what we saw in January. All right. Well, the data that we saw in February based off of January. So just know, like, you know, things are looking frisky. They're not, you know, all right. There's that. But yeah, guys, that is about it. All right. The last thing I want to show you guys is we do have, actually, do we have DXY starting to come down? DXY, I guess we'll do whatever. Just know if DXY does continue to go up, I went over that in another video. All right. You either get this, all right, or you get this. It's one or the other. And if you get this, that means equities are not coming back up to break the highs. Equities are going to go down quick. All right. You're not going to have a significant bounce here. It was going to be a rather feeble bounce. All right. But if you get this scenario, that is when I say you probably do end up having you know, you have a decent push going into the 14th over here. All right. So it would look something like that. All right. And yes, a hot CPI report would make the dollar spike. The dollar would you know, apply added selling pressure onto equities. All right, they just don't work well together, all right? But the one thing I want to point out here, the last thing I want to point out here, is it the last thing? Do we have anything else to go over? Not really, all right, not really. All right, the last thing I want to point out here is we do have increasing buy volume here on Apple as well, and it did reclaim its 200 DMA, all right? And you do have stochastic heading straight up. Now, I will say that is pretty wide stochastic there. I wouldn't be surprised to see, again, I mean, the indices and Apple, they're going to move together, all right? So this one getting a bounce, all right, those are going to end up getting bounced. That is what I'm trying to show you guys here, all right? But I do believe they're very, by the way, Money Maven, guys, it's pretty cool as well, all right? I follow, I'd say probably follow, I don't know, I think I'd probably have 15 people. We'll say 15 people that I respect their work. And I'm like, you know, this guy's actually, he's not too shabby, all right? That guy's one of them. I will say that, all right? But yeah, all I'm trying to show you guys right now is, hey, the largest component on SPY and QQ is starting to bounce, gotten back over it, reclaimed its 200 DMA, and you don't have the selling pressure that you had here, and you don't have the indecision candlesticks that you had over here, all right? Solid chance that you know, you end up flipping this and you go for a ride here, all right? And then that would mean the indices go for a ride there. All right. All right. So I think that is pretty much it, guys. I do see upside over the next week. That is going off of the weekly time frame, the daily time frame. All right. But guess what? The 4 and 1 hour time frame do suggest we are going to be seeing a pullback at some point. All right. Probably Monday or Tuesday. With all likelihood, I would say it's going to happen on Monday. All right. But who says you can't go? I don't know. I don't, because you need this thing to form a bearish divergence here on the 4 hour time frame. You need to at least have some selling pressure. I think you at least need some selling pressure to bring this down, and then you would need it to come back up. So I don't know how this action really would go. All right. But across the board, we are seeing you're likely going to end up seeing that pullback, and across the board, we are also seeing later on into the week after that pullback, you are likely going to continue what we started here. You're going to continue this decent sized rally. All right, guys. With that being said, I will catch you guys in the next one. If you guys did find value in this video, please leave a like. If you guys do want more value and you think you would find value in that, pretty much, Patreon link is down below. Would love to see you there. All right. With that being said, I will catch you guys in the next one. Everybody have a lovely rest of your weekend. I will catch you on Monday. Peace.